So sometimes when we're doing drum and bass, we tend to put in a nice fat sine wave under everything, or a nice big sub bass. But in my opinion, sometimes when I listen to people's tracks, it feels like a little bit bland and a little bit boring to just like only have a sine wave, doing the low end. So typically for me, even if I want these sort of deeper, more subby oriented kind of DnB arrangements or tunes, I still try to make a bass that has a lot more going on in the low end, nice and thick. So here's a nice thick, warm, rounded low end bass that I've made today in Serum, and we're going to break it apart. Here's how it sounds in the beat. So if you have a little solo here, you take a look on span as well. Got a nice big sub bass here. We've got a lot of harmonics as well in the low mids and going up to almost a 2K or so. There's actually a little bit of fizz in the whole spectrum, but it mostly sort of ends here around 1 or 2K. It kind of tapers off a lot, But yeah, basically, let me mute the effects and we'll start right at the beginning. Not too many effects on this sound. But yeah, basically, we only have one filter as well. Oh no, sorry, that's a lie. We have two filters. But yeah, so we start off with the sub bass. I've got this turned up all the way, 100%. Okay, and then I've got another sine wave. This is an octave higher, and we have some FM from the sub bass here. So this is also using the exponential FM, which I did a video about recently. So it kind of gives you actually a detuned effect. It's quite subtle. On this sound, it's quite subtle. I did a recent video for a Neurofunk race, and the exponential version of the FM had quite a significant detuning effect. Just at this setting here, around 25%, it's a little bit more subtle. But anyway, that's the one I selected. So then I have basically kind of like a pulse wave or a square wave to fill out the rest of the low end, So this is been unison as well. And I've also low passed it. So it's basically on the default shapes over here at 7. Yeah, it's sort of like a like a pulse or square, something like that's a classic square. Yeah, then you get to this sort of more pulse version, and I unison it up. Detuning on 0.07, the blend is on 68. And then again, as you see here, I put the low pass filter on. So that's how I'm doing the harmonics that exist sort of in the low mids, All these ones around here come from that, So back with the sub bass and the other sine wave here. So I have two sort of other FMs going on. First one is the PD from B, so this pulse goes into the sine wave here a bit, and it opens up to a nice little growl here on this LFO. And over here I also did the FM from A, and again I went for the exponential here, which has a bit more of an obvious detuning effect this time. But yeah, basically just this LFO2, it's this sort of slow ramp up and down. It just modulates a couple of things, like the FM amounts, the low pass filter opening up a bit, the PD from B opens up nicely, the FM from the sub also tweaks around a little bit. It's essentially putting like a slight bit of a growl into the sound. That's basically what we're doing here, But anyway, there's sort of all this fizzy, distorted, almost high end in the sound, which I don't like so much. So I've low passed the whole thing around 336 here, and this opens up to about 1.8K on the LFO. But remember that the actual LFO doesn't go all the way to the top, so it actually doesn't quite get all the way up there anyway. That's just the range, but it doesn't actually go the whole way. If it went the whole way, you know, it's a bit more in your face. I wanted it quite subtle, the growl, you know. Anyway, the morph opens up a bit as well, so it kind of gives you a bit more high end here. This is on the LPH12 filter. So it already sounds nice like that, you know, that's the sort of basis of the sound already done. So that's like the main, you know, beef. That's the main beef of the sound. And then it's a case of just refining it and making it, like, shaping it to make it a bit more unique. Because it's a little bit, like, sort of undefined still in the low mids. So everything else now is sort of giving it more definition and a bit of stereo character as well. So filter 2, the notch filter. This one is, yeah, around 280 hertz. A little bit of movement on that, on the filter, on the LFO. Touch of drive as well. On the drive, you can actually use a clean mode as well. It's very, very subtle. Slightly different distortion drive color, but for me, it's very, very hard to tell the difference still. But I thought I'd share that anyway. Something you can do if you want. Maybe it'll work on particular filters, it might have a different effect, you know. Anyway, then I use the bode, which is really, really nice. So it just sort of goes from 6 up to 22 on the range, but so it kind of probably is going up from 6 to around 12 or something on the LFO. You can see it just moves up a little bit. So we're mixing the bode in quite subtly, but it adds quite a lot of stereo, because I've used the frequency shifter kind of to bring the shift to the left, the range to the left a bit, and then blur the whole thing 61%. And so yeah, it kind of at that point, yeah, just adds like a nice warm stereo layer, you know. Now I use the low high splitter to put distortion in, so about 400 hertz and above, about 30% on the drive, and the mix goes from 18 up to 59, and so it doesn't go, again, it doesn't go all the way to the top, but you can kind of see here how much the mix goes up on the sine shape of distortion. Alright, and then just a touch of convolution reverb, 8% with a digital gated. Then a bit of EQing. This is taking out a bit of the boominess, which is just in this sound at 250 hertz. A little high shelf boost, a touch of reverb, just 10% on the whole, with a bit of cutting it here, as you can see, 75 and 45. And then another little EQ to take out a bit more boominess around 290 hertz. You can kind of see this area was sort of sticking up a bit and it was getting a bit too much. So that is the finished Captain Beef sound then. And yeah, those sort of pulse square part really helps to add that nice stereo flavor in the low mids as well, you know. And yeah, it's just quite wonderful having all the FMs on as well. You know, they're really what are creating all of the character. You know? So yeah, that's basically it. I just yeah, put that along with my beat. Put a little sidechain on to duck the low end against the kick, like a nice low shelf sidechain here. Because it does conflict with the kick a lot, obviously, this kind of sound, you know. Kick especially, as my kick is quite beefy in the low end. Yeah, so that basically wraps up the Captain Beef. So that's just one way you can create a nice fat, juicy, low end subby bass sound that's really nice and thick and warm and just got a lot more going on than just a bland old sine wave for your low end, you know, a bit more character, a bit more things happening down there. So just a short one today, my G's. Hope that was helpful for you guys. Little Serum 2 sound design video. I'll do a few more Serum videos coming up, I think, because I'm sort of still trying to learn some more tips and tricks and hacks, and I'll share them along with you guys as I go along. And thank you very much for watching, my G's. Leave us a like and a comment if you would be so kind. Subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. We'd love to have you join us. And also check out the links in my video description for my preset packs for Serum, Vital, Faceplant and Current. I've got a great Patreon community as well. You can come over and support me on there, join my Discord, take part in feedback live streams and more. And if you guys need one-on-one mentorship, I have that available, plus mixing and mastering services. Let's go. All right, my G's. More from me very soon. Much love.